Good evening. It's been a sad year for Tiverton cinema goers, as the ongoing struggle to save its only cinema and independent one, the Tivoli, from closing down has now been unsuccessful, with the hoardings around the building and the cinema itself becoming derelict for the time being. A gathering of Tivertonians and friends took place in August when the last film was screened there before its closing down. We can have a look at some of the photos and pictures of that day.
Personification of the Tivoli cinema just goes to prove how much the people cared and support the campaign to keep it alive and showing movies. With no other cinema in a walkable distance of the town, the closure of the Tivoli will mean that the residents of the town will have to travel in a car for up to 40 minutes to get to one in either Taunton or Exeter. The campaign to make sure the Tivoli cinema remains open has taken place throughout the year in a bid to make the landowner know how vital the building is and how cherished it has become for everyone in the town. Thousands of people have responded on an online petition, and the Tiverton Town Band can be seen here playing tunes from films that Tivoli has shown in its 75-year history.
Right, well this evening obviously is a very sad and depressing occasion. But we want to have a bit of a smile on our face as obviously we do feel sad as well. I want to introduce first the man that's been Mr. Tivoli for the last 12 years, and to, if I may, Mike, express gratitude on my own behalf, and I'm sure for everybody else that's here, for the excellent way that you've run the Tivoli and the way that your team has run the Tivoli for the last 12 years. And I'm sure everybody joins in wishing you and all the team thank you and all the very best for a long and happy retirement.
I'm so grateful for everybody who's made it happen. Most of all, I'm grateful to you for coming along and buying a ticket, which has kept us here. I hope you picked some films that you've enjoyed over the years. It's been very difficult sometimes to please everybody. But thank you. Thank you for all your support. And I'm going to go and get the film laced up now, so I'm going to hand back to Bryn. But thank you very much indeed for coming out. And
we wish the Tivoli well, and I just want to, if I may, ask a couple of important people what their memories are of the Tivoli. And if you could put your hands together for Mrs. Doreen Weeks, who was an usheress at the Tivoli in 1939, Doreen, is that right? A couple of your memories of the Tivoli.
Well, I enjoyed every minute I was here, and I've seen such a lot of changes. I would like to see it kept for the time. I mean, I think it's the end of an era. That's the trouble. But perhaps the lottery would help.
I don't know.
Why don't you apply?
I think we're lucky enough to have two cinema companies that are bidding for the Tivoli, and hopefully that they can persuade the landlord to do the right thing. We will see. Thank you, Doreen. It's lovely to have you here tonight, and thanks for taking the time. And from the other end of the age scale, we have Rebecca Wilson with us, who I think also wants to say a few words. So, Rebecca.
Tivoli has always been a great cinema to watch films at, ever since 1932, even though I wasn't born yet. I like the Tivoli because of the exciting pictures outside, but not only that, the movies have always been great quality, and the kindness of the staff is great. And before I finish, I did put my name down on the Save the Tivoli campaign, and I will definitely miss the Tivoli.
Thank you very much.
Speeches there from the old and the young people who will miss this cinema, like every Tivertonian will. It will be greatly missed by us all. Next in line was the Mayor of Tiverton this year, and here's what he had to say.
I think we all have to realise that the fight must move on, and I think it will be the planners who will ultimately decide the fate of this building, which has stood here for 75 years.
Hear, hear.
It seems incredulous to me that the owner of this site considers a block of flats is likely to be more useful to the 17,500 residents who live in the boundary of Tiverton, let alone outside in places like Plumpton and Crediton. And the likely impact of the cinema, the lack of a cinema on our residents, in particular the very young. This building has always been a haven where you can switch off and forget the rigours of life no matter what your age, and it brings in people from farther afield. A film, a meal and a drink, a good night out. But the temptation to make money is more important, and the deafening silence suggests to me that bean counters are already at work. So the fight must go on now to become Site the Tivoli, although I would be a bit surprised if there wasn't a price on the name as well. What we as a community, and I and my fellow councillors on both the district council and the town council, must strive to do is to make sure that a cinema stays in this town. Up until now, we've been able to walk to this place, see a film and walk home, a tiny carbon footprint. Now, thanks to the landlord, we are faced with a 30-mile round trip to Exeter or Taunton to see the latest flick. And that cannot be allowed to happen. I hope the planning authority will submit any scheme to the most in-depth analysis before decisions are made on this building's fate. And thanks to the greed of some, even more young people are destined to hang around on the streets of the town with little or nothing to do. This building has always been a safe place for young people to come to and return over the years, often as parents. That must continue, albeit, I suspect, at a different locality. Thank you very much.
Very reassuring to know that we have such support.
And with that, the final people entered and paid for tickets for what might be the very last time. It was the end of an era for Tiverton, and there was nobody in the town who wanted to see its closure go ahead. And what a better way to end the cinema's life with the Simpsons movie being shown. Just like the Spring Festival and 2007's Mid-Devon show, Tiverton has lost something special. But at least the famous Tiverton Carnival will still go ahead, and there's a video of that on YouTube and all. We were able to interview Councillor Wilson about his plans to keep a cinema in Tiverton.
Well, the main problem we have in Tiverton is that we don't have the available land to build another cinema. We do have land which we could use, but it's exceedingly expensive and it's being used for other purposes at the moment. So this is really the only option, unless we go down the route of using a church hall or something instead. But that's not really the point. What I'm unhappy about, and the councillors are unhappy about, is that this site has been a cinema for a very long time, and the suspicion is that the owner of the land wants to turn it into some form of accommodation instead, which the town centre doesn't really need. We have loads of shops with accommodation above them, which is empty because people don't require them. And really, we need a community resource like this, because we have a very great shortage of things in the town for young people to do alone. And this is something which is a very safe environment for them to be able to.
Oh, we might be upstairs.
And they can't come here. There's not a great deal else. There's the leisure centre, and that's about it. I don't come as often as I would like to, but then that's because I'm a very busy man. Being a district councillor and a mayor, and having a full-time job as well, it is quite difficult. But if there's a particularly good blockbuster, I came and saw the last James Bond film, for instance, because I like James Bond. So I wouldn't particularly have come to see Homer Simpson because I'm not a great Simpsons fan, but my daughter loves it and falls in love. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's my pleasure.
Well, the people of Tiverton have spoken today at the Tivoli Cinema with a great turnout. Although in 75 years the cinema hasn't closed, it could finally come to a close today. But the campaigners will still continue, and I'm sure we haven't seen the last of them yet. This is Lewis Clark for Lewis News in Tiverton.